let's start with this. As you know, Flavio was mentioning, we have this like one-click experience, so you don't have to um, do the local setup. If you just want to try this, you can try like one click. So just go to the website, and as you can see, we have this deploy preview. And for this particular example, we have like Drupal Next.js and Drupal and React Router. So we're gonna try the Drupal Next.js integration. As simple as click here, and then what's gonna happen here, it's gonna start, using Tugboat to do all the configuration.
I'm going to take the opportunity to talk a little about Tugboat. Like a fun fact, Tugboat is a platform that its main goal is to test and deploy like applications. What it brings like infrastructure as code, it brings like ephemeral infrastructure. So using Tugboat, which is not the goal for this exactly, but using the platform, the advantage of the platform, they allow us to integrate their APIs with and create like previous web ephemeral environments with of Drupal decoupled with all the stack, the backend and the front end. And that, I mean, this is like in a demo, but in real life, in real projects, to both allow us to create previews for pull requests when the team is making new features in an application. Tugboat allows to create a temporary environment for testing, to check with the stakeholders how it looks, the new change, things like that. But yeah, in our case, we are using like for the previous or like one click deployment to take a look at on how all the pieces of Drupal decouple works.
So what happens here, correct me if I'm wrong, Omar, is just spin up the Drupal side, it just spin up the front end side, but it
Exactly.
also spin up the storybook, right? You want to take a look at the components.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, like we mentioned, another thing to mention, this is like the opinionated way to make Drupal in octahedroid in the majority of our projects. So that is mostly our basic stack, like the backend, the front end, and our design system, or the storybook where we are rendering all the components.
We can start with taking a look at the storybook. So as you can see, we can see the standalone components here, the color configuration, some components, by itself. But it also, you can see, like, or blocks that we have, like, or components. You can see different versions of those components here. I mean, I'm just not going to go through all of them, but as you can see, we have the components, we have also pages and inputs and all of the components. So again, this is a way to take a look at how your component is gonna look like without the need to implement it on the platform, right?
Yes, just to mention something, adding something else to the Storybook thing. So if anyone can see in the documentation, the quick start way to spinning all this, just to mention something little quick. This is the components we are using for the starter, but we decide to use a minimal configuration for Storybook. It's just about uh, like the inventory of the components, you're showing the components, but it's really basic, the Storybook setup, and it's ready to add a lot of plugins or whatever you are used to do with the Storybook. But this is the most basic installation or the most basic flavor of the Storybook, just to ramping up with how the components looks. Yep.
On the other side, we have the Drupal side here and the Next.js frontend. So again, we have the three instances, and we can visit them here just by clicking the one click option. So again, so we have a Drupal site here, fully featured Drupal site. We use recipes for providing all the configuration. We'll talk about what that configuration means, and we have the front end side here. So again, everything is pre-configured here. So again, backend and frontend are already connected here. It means if we go to the Drupal side, which is in this particular case the backend, and we change something, we will see that something happening on the front end. And we'll see how that looks like in a few moments. But again, the recipe takes care of configuring GraphQL Compose for exposing the data, the simple out module to allowing authentication from the front end. It also has, multiple modules like for other, pieces through using recipes, right? So again, we are using that, the default way of providing configuration with this. Everything is managed through Composer and, and packages. I don't know, anything else that you want to add, Omar, here?
Hmm. No, I mean that it's just the essential setup for making this with recipes, which is the new way to package like Drupal uh, for for your projects.
A fancy way to doing profiles or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else to add, we are using paragraph for the structured content. You will see that how that looks like. So long story short, we have the Drupal site here. We can probably navigate here if we want to. Like, so this is content. Well, let's take a look at the content. Let's go and visit the homepage. So we are opening the homepage here. As you can see, we have, that front end side embedded on the Drupal side. Again, this is the same as this one. This is through the Preview Iframe module. Again, this module will provide you with an iframe, which is basically embedding the front end application on your node view page, so you can see the preview like out of the box. Again, there's something people complain about decoupling things because you don't have previews, but you can have previews using the iframe preview module. The iframe preview allowed you to navigate the site within the Drupal site. As you can see, the URL is changing. It means we are navigating within the iframe, but it also communicating back to Drupal to change that page. So it means you can edit that page immediately. And how do you edit the page? So you can go hit edit. And then what we see in here is that, the node edit form. We can navigate through the components. So now let's change something here. I think it's at the drum. Let's add a few things here. And now, as you can see, we can click preview again. We also have the preview, the built-in preview on Drupal available through the front end. So it means I haven't saved this page yet. So it means I can visit my front end. Nothing has changed because this data is stored on the preview stars from Drupal. So as we can see here, change, it's already here. So it means once I go and back to editing and hit save, now I can see those changes on my preview here. But it also, if I'm moving to the front end side and just hit refresh, we will see those changes here. So once I hit save, I can see those changes on my front end side of things. And we can also go do something more advanced, like going to component, change the order. Now let's change, card, group, order. Let's go card, CTA here, and then go preview. As you can see how it works, ready to use examples. Those are in different order because we order on the backend side. Once we go and hit save here, you're gonna see those changes reflected on the front end page. It's here. So again, all those changes, you can see the changes immediately once you change those on the backend side of things.
Yeah, yeah, this is very important for enterprise teams in regards to content moderation, because this is one of the main concerns around decoupled architectures, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes it pretty easy for content editors to actually edit the content, revise the content, and publish the content.
exactly. And if we turn on the content moderation module in Drupal, we will have all that, access immediately. So it means you will be able to see all those different revisions, preview for those revisions. You will be able to roll back to a particular revision. So again, all those previews are out of the box. with Decouple, so you don't have to worry about like like missing those changes or previewing those changes, past changes.
Yeah, that's great. So basically, this would be how it works in the cloud. I don't know if you want to add anything else, Omar or Jesus, about this before we go to the local setup.
Just to make a note here, this actually it's really funny that this is also our way to make like a really quick test of, if you are working in a Drupal configuration, or if we want to take a look at how cases of our front end, like, like render ordering, or just trying to add a new paragraph with new content, things like that. Uh, this helps a lot. Even if you just want to try to, to test some full integration way, like make a change in Drupal and see that all those changes are reflected in the front end. This this is the way to just to show to the internet how Drupal decoupled works, but in our insights, in our day by day, for us, that we are making the project, is also like a really nice way to test how all things work, because this is a little different from like the traditional stack, at least for Drupal. Uh, and yeah, I mean that's the that's it. That's the this is really handy for just to make, like a little change and test things, and configure a new model, things like that. This is also really handy if you want to take a look, to give it a try. I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna leave the link in the description if you wanna test it, and if you want to see a more specific demo for your organization or your site, we're happy to help. Just reach us out in our site too.
We're going to also demo the Webform integration. So again, we can take advantage of this particular feature from Drupal. Webform module. It's a module that it's pretty heavily used on the community. So just gonna use we have a front form here. Testing on to Tugboat, and just submit. And what it's gonna happen here, we will see that particular form submission on the Drupal side of things. So let's go back to here, web forms. So we can see that for the web form here. Take a look at the submissions, and we can see what was submitted, right? So let's go here, view, and we can see what was submitted from the front end. So again, what this means for a user from the user perspective, it means you can take advantage of web form handlers. So it means once you submit the form, you can do what you always do on the Drupal side of things, like integrating with like MailChimp or your CRM or any other third-party integration, just from within Drupal. So it means the front end takes care of like posting the data to the Drupal backend, and then once get submitted to the web form, from that particular point, you can handle as you usually do that from the web form handler.